Hello there, this is Patricia from Pinky's World, and today we're making a fun fold card. I'm going to be using Sweet Songbirds and the matching punch, Songbird Builder. We're going to use the basic border dies. We're going to use this sort of triangular one. And for the happy birthday, I'm just using Artistically Inked. The colours I'm using are Poppy Parade, and I'm going to use some of the Brights DSP with 6x6 pack with the spots. So let's get started. Before you go, you need to cut yourself 2 circles. Depending on what you're putting, if you haven't got that Songbird Builder, maybe you want to use whatever you have in your stamps. Just make sure it fits into your circle, and you don't want it too big because you want to have room to, you can see that my wee bird is going to fit inside my circle nicely, and I'm going to have room to put a branch for him to sit on. So those circles are about 2 3/4 inches, so you need two scalloped ones. I have done one in red and one in white, and that's all you need. Don't worry about the rest. You just need to be able to use a plain one to cut your circle, so it has to be just slightly smaller than your scalloped one. And the card that you need for your basic card, using an A4 sheet, which I have cut down at 5 3/4 inches. Our A4 in UK is 8 1/4, so when that's folded it's only 8 1/8. So I'm going to just butt it up now to my scoreboard and fold it. You know I don't like to score my cards, I like to butt them up to get a nice even closure. And then just give it a wee burnish. So that gives you a basic card shape, 8 by 8 1/4, folded in half, which gives you 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. So that is the basic start of it. And what you need to do next is have a piece that measures 4 3/4 wide by 5 3/4 deep. So it's the same length, but it's 4 3/4 wide, and we want to score that at 1/2 inch on one side. Put the 4 3/4 inch side and score it at 1/2 inch. So we can fold that over. It will get squashed again because it's going to go through embossing board and cutting board. So this is going to sit, your card's going to open the opposite direction, and this is going to sit like so. We want to cut this away now to make that nice wee shape. So take that separate piece and set your die on it. We're going to measure down, and we want to set our die at 2 7/8 point. So measure down. If you're using 5 3/4, you want to go in at 2 7/8. So I'm just putting a wee pencil mark there, and I'm going to run this through by setting that up there so that you have a nice same sort of level between each two. So just keep your point to this and go and cut it with your machine. So I've cut that. There is a couple more interesting shapes if you wanted to vary it rather than going with this particular shape, but that's what I've gone with today. So now I want to cut my circle out, and then I want to emboss the circle, or emboss the piece. So I have decided that this is big enough for my wee bird, so I want to set it up that it's sort of guided towards that, but maybe slightly down, because this is going to come right through your card, and I want to have room for a happy birthday in behind all this. So I'm just going down. As you can see, that's sort of the midway point. I'm going down just ever so slightly. I'm using these guides as my center, these 2 pieces of paper, and I want to keep it closer to this side than to this side, and you'll see why shortly. So I'm just sticking that in place, and I'm going to cut it out. So I have now cut that out, and I also run the embossing folder through it as well, and I've actually did it upside down. So I'm higher up the top now, but I still have room. Silly me. But I'll still be able to put my happy birthday there. So now I need to decorate this, and remember the card has to face the opposite way. You don't want to put it like a normal card. So your DSP goes on to this bit. So we're just going to stick that in place. And I used a dotty folder because I was using spots for the DSP just to tie it all in. So I've cut that DSP just at 4 inches by 5.5, so it gives us a nice wee border. Make sure I'm facing the right way. And this will go over the top, and you'll be able to see that nice paper behind here. And you need to now set this up the way it's going to be. Make sure that everything is fitting nicely there. I'm not going to attach it just yet because we have to run this through the machine. So get a pencil, hold that nice and flat, and draw your circle. Same as you cut out earlier. And just go back in, open your card out, and go back in and use that same wee circle again. Line it up so that it cuts out nicely. Hard to see, isn't it? You can double check everything by slipping that back in. Make sure I'm getting it nice. My sellotape's stopping me from moving. Where's my pokey too? Just try and get that it's in the center. Just take your time over it. That looks grand to me, so I'm just going to stick that down with a wee bit of tape so it doesn't move on me. And bring it over and give it a cut. So I'll be back short. So now you have your circle cut out. That should sit, and that should all line up so you have that seam right through. This stage now you can stick in your piece of paper for this side, and it measures the same as you did for your front one. I'm going to take a wee slip off it just so that it doesn't affect the closure. So it should be 4 inches anyway, so I'm just going to go slightly under. Right, I was carrying on there, forgot to press record. So I wanted to show you what I was at. I want the wee bird sitting on a branch underneath, so you sort of decide where he's going to be positioned and then stamp your branch. And the branch is coming this way. You can do another couple if you want, I'm not going to bother. But I want to give him wee feet to sort of stand on. So I'm just going to do them in the same. I used cinnamon. Now those feet are going the wrong way, so I don't want to use you. There's 2 sets of feet in this. That's the one. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? So we're going to do those in one of my older browns here, cinnamon something or other. So just want to make sure that I'm getting him right where I want him. It should be okay. So I'm going to put his wee feet here. And that gives him something to be grounded, you know, that he's not hovering. And while we're there, oops, we may as well do our happy birthday at the top of the page there. If you're not confident about your stamping, don't stick your page down first. Wait till you do all your stamping and then pop it in. But just make sure you have it in the right position so that everything, you know, works with the hole that you've done. So he's going to go here, which gives me lots of room for up the top. I'll just go happy birthday. And then you just have your wee place to write whatever you want to do. We could also add some of the wee leaves. May as well give them a bit of colour in there. So I'm going to get some. So I thought I'd go with Old Olive, as it is kind of the winter time here. It's not really bright spring-like leaves, if any leaves at all at the minute. So I'm popping this here so it's close to the branch. And that just adds a wee bit of something to it. So what we need to do now is attach this. So we'll leave him up there until we're fully ready for it. You could use your tape, your red tape, if you have a Stampin' Up! Permanent one. There's a good one out now at the minute, and it's really permanent and strong. I don't have it. Me and tape runners do not get on very well. So I'm going to stick to my nice glue. So just set that in. Don't crunch it up too much to your fold. Allow it, give it room that it's not too tight for folding. And when you're happy that it's all lined up, just press it in there. So I'm going to get rid of that excess just in case. So that closes down and that closes over, and you can see you're going to have your wee bird sitting like he's peeping out at you. So now we'll want to add our nice wee frames we made. Just give that a nice wee press. You wouldn't even notice that in the back at all. So where are we? The first one is going to be a white one because it'll stand out nicer. Alright, so we're just going to put wee dots of the glue. So just set that down, pop it on. Maybe if you opened it out, you'd see it a bit better. Just make sure it ticks. I didn't cut this one extremely straight, so you should use washi tape when you're putting your things through the die cutter. So we have that. And on this one, I thought it would be nice to sort of break it up and put a red one on it to tie it all in. So just do the same, a bit of glue. I'm going to open this out as well, just so that I can get a good look at it. So now you want to add some of your, this I stamped out the bird, punched out the beak, gave him some eyes, stamped and punched his wig, all using that wee set. So now we want to raise him up, make it more interesting looking. And then just close your card and make sure that he's on the right position so that he's showing through. Alright, we're going to have to put something up here to hold that all nicely, can flip under there and keep us better. So we shall stick this in place. I think I'll go to the bottom with this and just raise it up slightly. Need to trim that. Just bring this over to one side, and I'm going to use wee dots to keep me in a straight line. So that's a start. So I'm going to think, I think I'm going to what am I going to do? Maybe a flower at the top. I haven't thought this out, let me think. Right, so I decided to put a wee bit of branches up there, so I stamped part of the branch, cut it out to shape that, stamped a couple of leaves and cut round them, and I'm just sticking this one down, I'm not raising it up, so it just sticks to there and allows that to flip in and out between it and the bottom one. That will hold it. I give it time to dry, and that's more or less. You can put a wee ribbon up here if you fancied. So that will open out, that will be sitting there, which is nice, and then that opens out and you're left with that. I think it's a pretty nice card, isn't it? I've seen a lot of them about, but I haven't taken time to go and measure it all out. So give it a wee go, see what you think, and I'll catch you all again soon. Thanks for watching now, bye.